80 million individuals in this country have a criminal record. Think about that. 80 million individuals. That's 25% of the US population. We have 10 million jobs. And what we need to do is find ways in which to create opportunities for those 80 million to work in companies, small, medium, and large sized in this country. We don't need to be providing opportunities for 3 to 5 individuals with criminal records. We need to be affecting the lives of thousands and tens of thousands of individuals.
People with criminal records are often sidelined in the labor market. According to the University of Michigan, applicants without convictions received 60% more job callbacks than those with one. Those aren't great odds for the millions of Americans who have criminal records. But this idea of second chance hiring could be changing that.
What do we mean by second chance hiring? It's really about the practice of hiring, retaining or keeping, and promoting individuals with criminal records. We're talking about the full range of individuals with a record. It could be a misdemeanor all the way to a serious offense.
If you are a company, a firm that wants to hire individuals with criminal records, wants to start a second chance program, what are some of the, 1, 2, and 3s that firm should do?
The best laid packages come in 3s. So I'm glad you gave me that number. The first thing I would suggest is make the case. Look at the research. Look at the data of your company. What are your talent needs? Are there individuals in underserved or from underserved populations that are not represented in your company? So start with the numbers and make the case. Second action is look at your HR. Those are the people that hire. They set the systems up on who gets in, who gets out. But also, in addition to the HR policies, look at your practices. It doesn't do any good if you develop the policies, but you don't execute well. What do I mean by that? Some companies are looking at the practice of eliminating 4-year degrees for all the jobs. Take a look at the skills that are essential to work in the company and to be successful in the company. So skills-based hiring. Third thing you should do is forge partnerships. Don't pretend as if you're the first to do this work. There are a lot of organizations that are doing this work already. Capitalize on that. Business can't do this alone. State and local governments can't do this alone, and the nonprofits can't do this alone. We need to be having significant impact, and that is in the thousands and tens of thousands. We can't have that impact if we're not locking arms and figuring out how we do this work together. One of the challenges that I think we face is, do we ban the box and asking if you have a criminal record? Is that enough to allow an individual to get into a company and work? The fact of the matter is, you can ban the box, but ultimately, if you're offered the job, a background check is going to be conducted.
Ban the box laws prohibit employers from asking job candidates to disclose their criminal history, often by checking a box on an application at the start of the hiring process. The intention is to give those with criminal records a fair chance at employment, but the data is mixed on how effective they actually are. Some advocates say a different approach is needed, particularly for Black Americans that are disproportionately impacted by the criminal justice system.
Do we look at the entire length of individual's life, or do we look only so far back? Or do we look at whether or not the criminal offense has any relationship to the job the individual has applied for? Those are some of the critical challenges that companies are working through as they embark on this work.
Talk to me a bit about some of the successes that you've seen. Like, what does the data tell us about, retention rates for individuals with criminal records, or the success that they have once they're on the job?
We have a company who's created an apprenticeship program, and that apprenticeship program has converted 93% of the individuals are now fully employed. What's equally impressive, 0% for those that were in jail have actually ended up back in jail, and a 97% retention rate. They're keeping their jobs. But why are they keeping their jobs? Because companies are also thinking about, what are the supports we need to help? Mentoring. How do we provide advice to the individual so they don't just get the initial job? How do they acquire new skills that allow them to take advantage of better jobs with better pay? Some individuals need childcare. Others need transportation assistance. This is critical for many of these individuals that are first generation to work in corporate America. Giving them the career is the first step. The supports ensure their success long term.
Is there one story that sticks in your mind that is just basically a perfect example of like, this is why we do this?
I go to a personal experience with a family member who has a criminal record and has had a drug addiction. His opportunities have been limited because no one can get past the fact that not only does he have a criminal record, but no one sees actually that he's overcome all those obstacles. So for me personally, it's that motivation. And there are thousands and thousands of those stories across this country where employers are seeing successes, and we just need to tell those stories. We have an opportunity to affect the lives of individuals. We have an opportunity to break the cycle where the dad had a criminal offense, the child has a criminal offense, the grandchild has a criminal offense. We're going to break that. And we need to be bringing out all the tools in the toolbox to solve this workforce problem and address some of the racial wealth gap issues that exist in this country.